Hello and welcome to Future Talk, where we're talking about the future of financial services in 2021 and beyond. And I'm here with the host, Bryce Doherty, who's about to talk to Geoff Lloyd, who, as we know, left MLC after the merger was announced, or the acquisition by IOOF of MLC. What are you expecting to hear from Geoff?
As you know, I know Geoff for a very, very long time, and Geoff's run advice businesses and asset management businesses and platform businesses, and then vertically integrated businesses that do all of that. I think it will be really interesting to get his view on where we're up to in the transition post-Royal Commission in the financial services industry, not just with advisors and advice, but across the whole spectrum, including asset managers.
What I think would be a really good chat between the two of you is also the future of fund managers, because, the landscape has changed considerably in the last even 5 years for fund managers.
We've spoken before on the show about active versus passive and all the standard footballs that get kicked around on this topic. But what we are really seeing globally is a massive consolidation of asset managers, and the idea that you need to be really, really good at one thing, or you need to be really big and good at a range of things. You can't sort of have these middle-size fund managers floating around that are sometimes good at this or sometimes good at that. People don't stand for it. People want to see outperformance. They want to see that you're doing what it says on the box.
Do you think, from your perspective, running UBS here in Australia, a massive global brand, does that give you comfort that you're part of a much bigger network?
Well, it does. We do everything from passive through to active, through to private equity and hedge funds. So that's what I'm talking about, that if you can be someone that is good at a range of things and therefore become very big because you're doing that, or you can be exceptional at managing small cap equities or global equities, I think they're the asset managers that will thrive in what we're going to see, not just here in Australia, but globally in the financial services industry.
Well, I'm really keen to hear what Geoff wants to do next. We've been waiting to see that. I think everyone's waiting to see what next. He's done a whole bunch of jobs. I hope you can get that out of him, but he mightn't be talking.
We'll give it a go. We'll see what he says.
Okay, well, let's roll, and I look forward to hearing what you and Geoff have to say.
All right, good to see you. Great to be talking with Geoff Lloyd. He's been with us on this show previously, and it's really good to have you back, Geoff.
Hi Bryce, good to see you.
Mate, we've been talking to a wide range of people while we've been putting the show together. Where do you think we're up to? Where's the financial system? Where's the superannuation? Where are we on the scoreboard?
Yeah. Well, I think and hope that 2021 is the start of a new decade for clients in financial services. I think it's an opportunity for all of us to learn from the past, regroup. Things might seem quite a mess at the moment, but within that, you can sort of see where the tide and the current is now actually matching together, and I think that's going to push us forward. So I'm quite optimistic about this decade, but everybody has to ensure, and I don't like the language client first because it's overused, but it really is the decade for clients, and clients to have a great opportunity to get wonderful products and services delivered to them in a way that maybe they haven't had them given to them before.
We're 30 years, thereabouts, into compulsory superannuation. We've seen a lot of advancement with tech in the background, so things like master trusts to wrap platforms and so on. Are we ready for that to hit the consumer end? It doesn't seem that we're there yet.
Yeah, look, Australia's quite unique in many senses, and I think we're a little bit behind when it comes to tech, quite frankly. Partly that's because we argue in the past that our tax system and superannuation is, as a compulsory system, unique. I think that's partly true. The reality is, particularly in the US, but also the UK, software as a service and BPaaS is readily available and really powering up those markets in a way that people know where they sit in the value chain, and they're actually all digitising their experience and getting very, very close to the client. And clients are having individual personas, great opportunity to digitise, gamify their experiences and engage completely differently with the provider. I think we're on the cusp of getting to that point now. I've been guilty of this many times with too many brands, building your own here. And we're just not big enough for that. And the cost to serve is so high now in Australia, you need to get access to others who have that expertise and be able to know where you play, but also get the leverage of many using the same.
I know when we talk to advisors, they'll tell us that every single one of their clients is unique, and every client has a slightly different need to another. Is that the challenge with delivering, whether it's called robo advice or whether it's some kind of other tech solution, to segment it down to the individual?
I don't think that's quite true. I think when you look at the core of the offer, I think all clients are looking for an ability to be known, understand me and explain it to me and connect with me. So there's no doubt that it needs, I think, great advice still needs to be delivered by a human. But the ability for the client to really engage in the advice process before they even get into the planner's office and after they've been in that planner's office, and update and actually gamify that experience, have access to all their content, do all their own modelling, have sort of a Netflix of educational services available to them. That exists in other markets, and we're depriving clients of it here.
And is that because we don't have policy settings that are right, or is it because of other barriers to coming into this market with that tech as a service mentality?
Well, I mean, how many data scientists do we all employ? How many people are experts in financial services gamification and digitising that experience in this country? They just don't. Those skill sets don't exist here, actually. And then how do we apply AI technology over that so that that capability is being individualised, but it's actually learning along the way. So I think it's because for too long we've built our own. We really have built our own, and people are in that corner. But now, the ability to access these technologies, and I've been a student of it for the last 5 years. They really weren't as available 10 years ago, but they are now.
Of course, the world's changing for us in asset management land as well, with the new distribution and design obligations coming out, and really bringing asset managers up that value chain, if you will, to be more responsible to the end investor into their product. Do you think that's going to really shake out the asset management environment that we see in Australia today?
I think DDO is being underestimated across the board. Because super funds platforms and asset managers now have to have a direct relationship with their client. They have to know that client, they have to have a target market statement, they have to police and monitor that relationship. So that's a wonderful opportunity too, because where those clients have been orphaned, now it's an opportunity to digitise that experience and actually engage that client very differently. So there's something in that as well. But I feel like right now the focus is on getting the target statements right, not what happens after that. So yeah, I think there's no doubt.
And almost doing it as a point of I can tick a compliance box that we've done it, rather than thinking about what's the intent here.
Yeah, so my mind goes back to 2013-14 when FOFA was introduced and fee for service and annual agreements were put in place. The agreements were put in place. How were they monitored? It won't be as bad, I'm sure we've learnt, but this happened in the UK again. I think we should all be students of what's occurred in the US and the UK, and we can follow the bouncing ball here. The UK government did exactly the same thing as DDO. Well, we've followed what they've done, and that was to get to a deep pocket. Because if the planners have disappeared and there's no capital in the dealer group practices, and the clients are left on their own, then the manufacturer becomes the target. And that's what's happening here as well.
Thanks for making yourself available again. Always good to talk to you.
That's my pleasure.